Hello Pisces, welcome to Lotus Heart Tarot. I'm so excited to have you here. That was some crazy full moon energy, huh? All right, let's dive in. For Pisces, I do like to start my readings off by thanking those of you who have been with me for a long time. Those of you who regularly comment, who like, share, who have subscribed. I deeply appreciate all of your support on this journey. Thank you so much. To those of you who are new to my channel, welcome, welcome. I am super happy to have you here. We are going to dive right in. Please keep in mind this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, for Pisces, please, Spirit, what does Pisces need to know right now? Ooh, I'm already getting some ringing in my ears here, Pisces. Okay. Man, Pisces, what a combination to start off with here in this. It feels like a new energy. It feels, there's always, it feels like a little bit of a chaotic buildup to the full moon. And then it's like a release, and I feel like, wow, okay, I can breathe a little bit easier today. I feel a little bit calmer. I feel a little bit more clear-headed. I feel like we've purged or released a lot of energy. I did a really cool full moon guided meditation last night with the full moon, and that was pretty awesome. And man, just clearing out a bunch of energy, letting things go, surrendering anything that's no longer serving me. This is a great time. You still have a few days where we're in the height of the positive surrender energy, where you can really even ask your spirit guides, your angels, your saints to help you release anything that isn't serving your highest and best good anymore. You do have imagination and happiness. Pisces, I feel just this energy of focus on the good stuff and focus forward. Focus on what's working out for you right now. Any little win, even the smallest, even, gosh, I just feel this sense of things really opening up for you. They're beginning to be a lot more flow, or a lot more positive energy, or a lot more momentum moving forward. The rabbit is always a sign of fertility, and fertility is always a sign of creativity or creation. And with this and it's a happiness card, and you have this imagination, and you have this owl energy here, and owls are always, very symbolic of, a higher level wisdom. Kind of even for Pisces, I feel like it's that deep inner knowing kind of energy, and it's, trusting where that's taking you or where that's guiding you. And it's guiding you toward a place of creation, or creating more happiness, more abundance in your life. All right, we see the rabbit on the Queen of Pentacles card. You guys, you have a rabbit here, and then even on this deck that I chose, this is the back of the cards, there is a rabbit. I don't know, rabbits may be some kind of symbol, sign, or synchronicity that you're on the right path, maybe angels as well. I didn't mean to say angels, but maybe angels as well, but also maybe owls. Oh my gosh, another rabbit. Okay, I am just really caught up in this energy of, okay, a rabbit may be a sign or a synchronicity, a blue or a yellow flower may be a sign or synchronicity, ivy, the plant ivy, or even maybe the name ivy, a monarch butterfly, a horse, maybe particularly a black horse, cactuses. I just feel this energy of there are signs or synchronicities even possibly all around you right now. I feel like you are starting a new adventure, or you are on a new path, or it's almost as if things have felt a bit chaotic. I feel a lot of swirling energy in these cards. I feel like you're going to start seeing some signs and synchronicities that start helping you put one foot in front of the other, or help you figure out a positive direction to move in. Again, with this owl, how I was talking about that deep inner knowing, that Piscean deep knowing. With the horse energy, it says literally, trust your feelings. I feel just this strong energy of being led, being guided. It's like what you are trying to create. It's like follow the path, follow the signs, follow the synchronicities. If you're trying to create it, it may be coming from the sense of a deep inner knowing or something that you have always been sort of guided to, or always been sort of feeling something about or some way about. There's an opportunity, there's a path opening up, a flow opening up. There are signs and synchronicities that will help you on this path. Maybe even a blooming cactus. I literally was driving home from the grocery store the other day and I saw a blooming cactus just like this, very big in someone's yard, blooming. And I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that around here. So that could even be a sign or a synchronicity. I'm not really sure. Well, let's go. Let's see what's going on. Oh my gosh, yeah. Remember how I just said to you, this rabbit is like a sign of fertility, creativity, you know, giving birth to something. Oh, wow. The first card that you had that came flying out of the deck onto the floor was this creativity. Okay. Gosh, you guys, these cards are super confirming what I'm feeling here. Wow. I feel something is really opening up for you guys, even like a portal, or even like, you know, some kind of something is opening up for you in a big way. What is this? You know, okay, in order for us to really move forward, in order for us to open up to the new things that want to come in, or the things that we're really trying to create, you can manifest all day long, but if you don't have space in your life to welcome in what you're manifesting, you know, what is the point, or what is the purpose, or what ultimately can really happen from there? You know, you've got to be able to make a place for those things in your life. Like, for instance, if, you know, I'm really thinking about a past person, or I'm really like, I've already sort of decided that a past person is for me, then like, I don't have a space for a new person to come in. If I don't know, I just see this across the board. You know, if I have a lot of clutter from my past, a lot of wounding from my past, or a lot of issues from my past, or a lot of thoughts that are really taking over my mind, or sort of keeping me following the same train of thought over and over and over again, I don't really have a space for new thoughts, or for mantras, or for something that's positive, that's going to reprogram my subconscious, that's going to really support the creation process. So this acceptance card is really important, and I feel like around the full moon, you know, this for me is just a monthly clean out cycle, you know, of just really asking to surrender anything that isn't supportive of where I'm going, of my present moment, and what is coming next. You know, if we carry, you know, it's like if you never throw anything away in your life, no matter how big the house you live in is, or whatever, you know, it's going to be full, it's going to be overflowing, you know. And it isn't even about throwing something away or discarding something. It is about the natural evolutionary process that is when we come to a space of accepting that the useful life of something in our life has come and gone, that we can actually just release it, or that it almost automatically releases when we accept it, or when we accept it as it is, or for what it is, or for the role that it played, or for the purpose that it served. And we say, okay, you know, like, if that is all there is to it, I'm fine with that, I'm at peace with that. See, you have this energy activation, which is feeling like this energy of flow that I've been getting since the beginning of this reading, of like, I'm literally getting like that feeling of a faucet that when you open it, it's just like there's all this flow, and it's like Before that, it's sort of like drip, drip, or nothing at all. You know, you have to open the faucet. And in order to open the faucet, it's like you have to take some kind of action, right? And you have this self-awareness. And it says, tap into your higher self, questioning routines and patterns. So it's kind of like any time a thought, or if you have a repeating thought, or if you have like a repeating criticism of yourself, or if you have, you know, even if there's a particular person that you keep thinking about, or a particular situation that seems that it was really unfair, or seems like it's been really hard to come to a place of peace, instead of forcing a place of peace, or instead of forcing resistance to it, like saying, oh, I'm not going to think about that anymore, or I refuse to give that another ounce of my time or my energy, it just doesn't deserve it. Those are, you know, those are definitely options, right? But what happens when we do things like that is we create more energy around it. We're giving it, actually, we're engaging with it. And when you engage with something, you're feeding it. The only way to successfully really release something, or to let it go, is to come to a place or piece of it and acceptance with it, no matter how shitty it was, no matter how heavy it was, no matter how hard it was, no matter how big of a struggle it was. It's like you just have to come to terms with the fact that that is the reality, or that is what life brought you. And if life brought it to you, can you then say, there must have been a greater purpose to it? It must have been a wake-up call. It must have been, if it's a moment where everything fell apart, the tower kind of energy, that is a moment that is offering you a fresh start. And it may come in a way that feels really destabilizing. Is that a word? Instability. Like it may come from a space of a great discomfort, you know what I mean? Or a space of just like, when is this free fall really going to end? When am I going to find the bottom so that I can climb my way up? But after the tower comes the star card in the major arcana. I always tell myself that, and I always think that when something's kind of falling apart in my life, it's like, yeah, I will understand the purpose of this at some point. I will heal from this, and I will find the light. I will find where this is actually leading me in the direction of my dreams. Even if it feels like it's going in the completely wrong direction in this moment, it is actually something that is freeing me toward my destiny, toward my fate, towards something that I am wishing for. I really do believe that. I mean, not everyone maybe believes that. So, definitely only take what resonates. I'm not trying to tell you what to believe, but there is something here where it's like, okay, the sooner we can actually, so I think I've said this before on the channel, but this is what works for me. And like, again, anything that works for me, it may work for you and it may not work for you. And that's just, we're humans. We're all very unique. We're all very different. We're souls. We're all very unique. We're all very different. So some things that work for some people may not work for other people, but especially when something really unfair has happened, and I've had some really crappy, unfair things happen. And some of them have really taken me years to come to a place of peace with, which is fine. But it didn't happen all at once. It wasn't like in one moment I was able to release the entire event or the entire whatever. It happens by working on it, and when I say working on it, I don't mean like actually like putting a lot of shadow work into it, or like diving deep into the bottomless pit of our feelings and our thoughts and all this. It's actually, it's this. It is recognizing that I'm feeling something really uncomfortable, and I'm feeling something that feels unfair. I'm feeling something that feels like suffering. I'm feeling something that hurts and is painful. And I may or may not ever be able to make sense of it. I may or may not ever be able to come to a space where it makes complete sense to me, or I understand all the nuances of it. I have come to a place where I really recognize my own humanity and my own sort of, like, I can only see what I can see, and I can understand things to a certain extent, but then, like, beyond that, it's like I also have to accept that life is a great mystery and that, from where I'm sitting in this position of being human, I I just don't I don't know everything about it. I just don't. And that's okay. You know what I mean? I know enough, and I'm learning all the time. And so I don't need to actually make sense of it, and I don't need to actually make it fair, and I don't need to exact revenge, and I don't need to I also don't need to engage with it or give it any more of my time or my energy. So when I recognize that something's coming up, and it's especially something that may be very difficult to reconcile within myself, why did this happen to me? I will instead just sit with the feeling of discomfort until it stops being uncomfortable. And it will stop being uncomfortable. And initially, it may be a while that it stays uncomfortable. I'm not trying to sort it out. I'm not trying to make myself feel better about it. I'm not trying to make someone the bad person and me the good person. I'm not trying to process it. I'm not trying to reason with it. I'm not trying to engage with it at all. I'm literally just letting it hurt or letting it be uncomfortable, and I'm breathing through it. And if you ever have the opportunity to do yin yoga, and there are videos online, I think yin yoga, just experiencing it one time, it would be beneficial for all people, because it really teaches you how to breathe into actually it's a very therapeutic form of yoga. You just go into a position and you hold it for a long period of time, and these are supported positions. This isn't like your body is shaking and you got to be strong and have lots of muscles to make it happen. It is a therapeutic kind of yoga. It's really good to do right before you go to bed. But you hold a pose, like pigeon pose, if you're familiar with that. It just comes to my mind. And you may feel spots where, okay, it's like I'm at my edge. I'm just feeling a little discomfort, or I'm feeling my stretch to a place where, okay, I acknowledge it physically. I can feel it. And then you learn to put your focus there and breathe into it. And you can do the same thing emotionally. So like when you have a feeling, like a lot of times you'll feel it like in your stomach, or sometimes I feel it actually in my heart. Especially like if it's a betrayal or something like that. A lot of times I do actually really feel it in my heart, which always scares me because, I don't want to have a heart attack or anything like that. But I will breathe into it. I will breathe into the pain the same way I breathe into where I'm feeling my edge in yoga. And it works, and you can just sort of sit with it and not engage with it and remain neutral with it, observe it, and work through it without having to have all the answers, or needing to talk about it, or needing to get it out in any other way other than just being with it and allowing it to be. So anyway, I don't know if that helps you guys at all, but then eventually either the thing stops coming up as much, or you start getting really good at breathing through it and sitting in your own discomfort. And when you really learn how to sit in your own discomfort, when things come up in life, you do not react the same way to it. It does not have the same effect on you. You almost can skip that step because you're so at peace with yourself and with life that it's like your brain doesn't even take things on in that way anymore. It's not personal, and you get to that place where you're like, this isn't personal. It's not even worth me actually taking this on board, because it has absolutely nothing to do with me. It's not about me. I know it may sound like crazy, but I don't know, that's my experience. And I really, I'm just here because we're all walking each other home. And, I've learned a lot from all of you, and I just try to give you my best. But But I feel like this is something that is happening here, or the opportunity is arising for you to come to a place of peace and acceptance with a lot of things from your past, because you are coming into a space of flow. And the more energy you clear, the more space you have, the more space you have for fertility and for creation and for those things that are new that want to come into your life. All right. Holy moly. And does something ever want to come into your life, Pisces? Oh, yes. Oh my God. Pisces. Oh my God. Pisces, the flow that wants to come into your life right now. Holy crap. Man. Oh man. Okay. So, man, this sun card, okay, it's, you know, the sun shines like every day, right? And, you know, yet, how do I even want to say this? Especially, I think, living in Florida where it's always sunny. I feel like sometimes, you know, we forget to be appreciative of the sun, or we forget to be appreciative that every single day that we wake up, we can kind of say, what do I want to do today? And do it. You know what I mean? I drive a Jeep with no windows and no, like I do have doors, but they're small. And the thing is, it's like, I can get in that thing and I can go like pretty much any time. Like maybe I have to avoid a couple hours here and there while it rains, but like other than that, I can do it. And sometimes it's like you do forget to be grateful for the energy of the sun. But you go through a hurricane, right? And you'll see so many pictures. I feel like, I don't know, maybe because I live in Florida and a lot of my friends live in Florida, but you know, there's always that first sunset after the hurricane, you know, after you've weathered the storm, after you've survived, after you kind of know, you know, like you live in this anticipation for days, and then it hits, it happens. And then you know, okay, here's the extent of my injury from that storm, you know. And then it's like there's this sunset energy, and it's like it always sort of takes your breath away right after a hurricane, where it's because it's such a peaceful energy. And in Florida, our skies are so big and our sunsets are so expressive and so colorful and so special. Like it really is a special, that is probably my favorite part of living in Florida. And it just resets you every single day. It has the capacity to just reset you and to remind you to live in a space of gratitude for every opportunity, for every day, for, you know, the fact that you have weathered the storm, you have made it through, you have, you know, you have come through. And so like in those moments, it's like there is a gratitude for something that happens every single day that is completely different than most days. And that's what I'm feeling with the sun card. It's kind of like maybe you have weathered a storm. Maybe you have had a tower moment. Maybe you have had, or even it has been maybe continuously stormy for a bit. You know, sometimes it rains for days on end, or sometimes, you know, the weather is just one thing after another. I mean, we've definitely had that here in Florida this year too with the hurricanes, 3 major hurricanes. But, you know, it's kind of like that day when you wake up and you're like, okay, this is the first day of the rest of my life. You know, this is this opportunity that comes around every day, and every day I've sort of just been surviving or coping or making it through. But this day feels filled with hope. It feels full of opportunity. It feels full of like awareness even for the opportunity that is in front of me. And, you know, with this combination of the Ace of Cups and the Fool, there is this sense of kind of being exactly where I need to be with myself. You know, emotionally, mentally, I'm I'm ready. And with the Fool card, there is always this energy of the beginner's mind. It's like, I may not know exactly where I'm going. I may not know exactly what it looks like, but in some ways that sort of means that you cannot fail. Like when I was first starting out in photography, I would just say to people, I don't really know what I'm doing. I mean, I've been taking pictures for a long time and stuff, and I am technically a professional photographer because I've sold my work. But like, I don't, like, I'll do the best I can, but I can't promise you anything, And then people were always like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. These are the best pictures ever. This has just been amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But then once you have a reputation and like you have some credit behind your name, you can't really say that anymore. And then there's a lot of pressure. And then like for me, I worked in the entertainment industry and I started photographing kind of like people who you would know. And there's a certain kind of pressure that comes with that. Their time, their energy, their, who else they've been photographed by, their other experiences, who am I to think that I belong in that club? Like whatever that comes along with it. And you can't really say, well, I don't really know what I'm doing when you're in that place, because you wouldn't be there if you didn't know what you were doing. But it puts more pressure on you to be successful or to come up with something that is brilliant, new, innovative, amazing, and that really highlights the brilliance of that subject, right? And so with this Fool card, Ace of Cups, it's like, this is truly a new beginning. And it's a new beginning where there's like a lot of gratitude around it, where there's a lot of energy of, like kind of maybe I weathered a storm, or I really survived a lot to be able to have this chance or this new beginning here. And there may even be a sense of gratitude for the beginner's mind for whatever happens from here, it's like a new lease on life. It's like there's almost kind of like no failing. The only way you can fail is if you're not grateful for it. And not grateful for another opportunity to live another day, For whatever reason, I'm also getting like James Bond here. I don't know why or what in the world, but okay. And then you have the Knight of Cups with this Ace of Cups. The Knight of Coins with this Ace of Cups. And it's like, the Knight of Coins, I say this a lot. It's like, I don't maybe necessarily know where I'm going. And it's kind of hard to sort of even put one foot in front of the other from where I'm at. Like there may be challenges, or because I can't really say this is where I'm headed, or because I really don't know what expectation to have, or maybe I don't even have a really solid goal in my mind. I'm just sort of moving from this place of, it feels honestly like gratitude to have this chance with the Ace of Cups and the Sun. It feels like that sunset, that first sunset after the hurricane, like, well, okay, now I know kind of what I'm dealing with, where I'm starting from, but I may not know exactly where I'm going or how it's all going to work out, or, I know about maybe the next step I can take is to do this, but I may not know the full result. But I am just grateful that I am here to take another step, or that, it's not worse than it is, or it's not, because it could always be worse. No matter what it is, it could always be worse. It's just sort of this feeling of like, okay, there's a ton of healing energy with the Ace of Cups and the Sun, and there's a ton of like feeling of gratitude and feeling of just deep appreciation for another new beginning in life, and with the Knight of Coins, it's like I have deep reverence for this opportunity. Like I may not know where I'm going, but I'm going to keep putting one foot in front of the other in a solid direction. I'm going to keep giving it my determination, my effort, my energy, the best that I have, even if I may not know completely where this is going. And so, I can relate this to a budding love connection, which it definitely can be with the Ace of Cups, when you're deciding to take the leap of faith and you're deciding to trust someone and you're deciding to see, where this can go, or to give in to this feeling of happiness. And you have this sense of gratitude that like, life is giving you another chance at love, but it is still scary. And it's like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know where it's going to go. I don't know if it's going to turn out all roses and sunshine or not, but it's just like right here and right now, I'm just appreciating this opportunity to have hope, to feel the happiness of the chance to be in love again, or to find love again, or to take this leap of faith, or to feel an energy that like, man, yeah, this person is worth taking a leap of faith for. This person is worth, you know, kind of taking this risk or this plunge for, right? And it may be after a tumultuous other relationship, or it may be after, you know, just a history in love where things have let you down or been really shaky or really like unnerving. But I mean, Pisces, like the energy around you and the energy that feels like it's coming toward you, it's flow. And the more you open up to it, the more you are a conduit for that flow, the more flow there will be. That's how it exactly feels. And the ways we open up to things, the fastest way is always gratitude, always. And I feel so much gratitude in this energy. All right. I mean, this could be a new job. It could be a new career. It could be a new lease on life. I keep getting new lease on life. For some of you, this definitely is a soulmate relationship. You do have the Sun card, which can speak about a reconciliation in love. You have the Ace of Cups, and now you have the Lovers. This is like a soulmate type thing. You have the Ace of Wands, which is talking about, I feel like, a deep attraction. You also have the Keeper of Wands, which, you know, it's this energy of really attracting what you want to you, not chasing it, but just allowing it. And that, again, is this sense of opening to flow. And, you know, with the Keeper of Wands, this is the Queen of Wands kind of energy, right? And it's kind of like, you know, manifesting at will, creating and inviting into your space the happiness, the things that you are really trying to manifest. And in order to really do that, you know, you have to be focused on your happiness. You can't be focused on a past that was unfair, a past that was a rocky road, a past that really dropped you off and broke your heart, you know? You have to be really focused on, you know, what it is you're aligning with, rather than what you don't want to align with, you know, more of the same, right? There's definitely a choice here, and I feel like it is around a new love and taking a chance, taking a leap of faith in love. You do have Justice and the Fool. Some of you may be working with. That's what I was saying. I don't know. Maybe you are working with this person. But Libra, an Aquarius, or an Aries. You know, with Justice and the Swords, I mean, oh my gosh, you guys, what is happening? I feel so flustered. I feel a little bit like where I normally feel like I'm sitting in the driver's seat, I feel a little bit like I'm being driven, but I'm trying to like be your tour guide. I don't know. It's very weird. You have Justice and the Nine of Swords here. And, you know, on the bottom of the deck, you have the Ten of Coins. And this is very much like, it is a big decision, because we can't overlook how kind of scary it could be, right? Or how anytime there's an unknown involved, especially when you're risking intimacy or you're risking vulnerability, which whatever this is, you're definitely doing that. Or you may even be coming from a space where you may never have felt as vulnerable as you do right now. Everything that you want is on the other side of fear. And that's what I'm getting. It's like everything worth having requires us to go into fear. I know I even recently told this story about how I ended up being a photographer in the entertainment industry. It really came because someone saw my nature work and wanted me to photograph theater the same way. And theater is terrifying. That's a terrifying, that I in my opinion, you know, it is one of the most terrifying things you can do as a photographer, because photography is the recording of light, and in theater there is hardly any. You know, the light is very pointed, it's very directed, and it really pushes the limits of your equipment and of your knowledge. And you know, the more experience you have, obviously the better you get at it, but especially when you go into it without knowing anything, which is what I did, it is, you know, you feel like you're jumping off a cliff, you feel like the fool. But nothing in my life, you know, I mean, I've been afraid before. I was afraid to get married. I've been afraid many times. Every time I have really leaned into that, and it's a fear where it's not a fear where I have a bunch of red flags or a pit in my stomach or everything in me is telling me don't do it. It's a fear where it's exhilarating and kind of exciting, and it fills me with butterflies, and or it's something that I know I have to do in order to get to another place, right? I don't know why this is coming up, but you know, people always say, oh, I'm scared to have kids, or I'm scared to, you know, become a parent, or, you know, that's really frightening. Or like, how do you know when you're ready? And people will say, well, you never know when you're ready. You just kind of have to do it eventually. Like if that's something that you want in your life, you just sort of have to do it eventually. And yeah, I mean, this could be like that, where it's sort of like, listen, you know, in order to have that vision that you hold for yourself, it's like, this is part of it. You have to cross this bridge, you know, you have, if you're going to make up your decision to do this, you are going to have to face your fear here. I also can't help it. You have the 8 of Justice, the 9 of Swords, and then the 10 of Coins, 8, 9, 10. It's a progress. It's something that you must go through in order to get to the other side, in order to make the type of progress that you're seeking. Oh, wow, with the Moon card. Keeper of the Swords and the 2 of Cups. Holy shit. Pisces, this could be like a major, major relationship. It can also be a business contract. But this is pretty incredible. So if you're going to make the decision to be in love, or to allow someone into your life, or to, you know, come together with another person, it's like you really can't know how it's going to work out. With the Moon card there, that is fear and illusion. That is the unknown. That is, you know, all of that, right? And with the 9 of Swords, it's like it will not come without fear. You know, you're not going to take that kind of risk, or that make that kind of commitment, or move into that space, right, without feeling a little anxious, without feeling a little fearful, right? Like that's just gonna happen. That's like kind of the nature of the beast that comes with the territory, right? But with that Queen of Swords energy, which is called the Keeper of the Swords in this deck, which I sort of like. Actually, I don't usually like it when court cards are called different things, but I like this deck. You know, this is like trusting this particular Queen of Swords, right? It's like you've got the key and the sword and the butterfly and this eternity symbol in the eye, right? And this is kind of like every decision you have ever made, whether it's worked out or it hasn't worked out, has been an important key in your understanding of life, in your ability to be discerning, in your ability to judge, to be able to make decisions for yourself. This is definitely a choice. You have the 2 of Cups and you have Justice here. This, for some of you, can be business, but it feels for a lot of you, this is some sort of soulmate situation that's coming in, where it may be sort of hard for you to trust what's unfolding here. And it is asking you to take some kind of risk here. With the Fool card, with the 9 of Swords, with this Queen of Swords energy, it is saying that, but it is saying that the potential reward on the other side of it is kind of your goal, or what you're looking for in life. Stability, strength, partnership, being able to leave a legacy. And also, for some reason with the Moon card here, I keep getting, every time I look at this card, I get, it's never too late. Like there's something about the phases of the moon, like every phase it's available in every phase or every stage, or I don't know what this is. I don't think have ever gotten this energy of this out of the moon card. But it's kind of like maybe sometimes in life it sneaks up on you, or it comes to you in a time or a place or a space in your life where you're sort of not expecting it, or maybe you have already kind of put it to bed or given up on it or shut the door on it or put it in the dark or, abandoned it. Which may be why it's asking you to reconsider it. You know what I mean? Or why it even feels kind of more frightening, because once you've accepted something and you are like, okay, I may just be by myself for the rest of my life, or, I may be in this particular situation. And then you're faced with it, it's kind of like, whoa, it's asking you to undo a lot of things that you've done here, or revisit them, or re-ask yourself, or reevaluate, right? So, but with the Keeper of the Swords here, it's saying, like, you have transformed through every experience. You have gotten some deeper level of understanding, or some other key to life, some bigger understanding. And with this eye, with the infinity symbol, it is giving me that cooperation between what you envision for yourself and what the universe has in mind for you. And, sometimes some things keep coming back around. Like maybe you keep having an opportunity, or it can even be where you've had an experience over and over and over again that has actually brought you to this place where you can actually really confront your fear, or where you had to really confront your fear, or maybe even where the worst happened. You know what I mean? Where you experienced like the worst case scenario, and even then, it's like you learned from it. Even then, you became more discerning. Even then, it transformed you. Even then, it was your teacher. Even then, it made you sharper. And it's kind of asking you to put your faith in that, rather than too much credence to the fear part, right? It's like, put your faith in yourself, believe in yourself. It says trust your feelings here, that all that energy with that owl of your deep knowing, and of, your intuitive process that can lead you through. And it's like, even those things that felt like they didn't work out may have been in your life for a very specific reason, may have been part of your experience for a greater purpose, for your own learning, your own development, your own becoming, and each of them is a teacher. Each of them holds a key. And if that is what you're searching for, and that is what you're looking for, that is what you're going to find. And it doesn't mean that every single time you go into a situation like this, that's going to be your result, that it is going to be like your worst case scenario or your fear come true. It means that even when that does happen, even if the worst does happen, it is your teacher. It is like your friend. It is happening for you. And, with the moon card, that's how we go into the unknown. Maybe it's like you're afraid, but you do it anyway. Or maybe it's like when you look at your fear, it shrinks. Like, well, the worst has already happened to me. There's kind of no pressure on me with this Ace of Cups full card energy. It's like, I got the beginner's mind, no one's expecting anything of me, there is no expectation here. I'm taking one step at a time, and it's leading me in this direction. And maybe even I'm seeing signs and synchronicities. And it's like I may be following the spiritual breadcrumbs of the universe, and it's taking me here. It's taking me towards this. It's keeping me on this path. It's keeping me moving, maybe even towards this person, or towards this relationship, or towards this business opportunity. It must mean something. There must be some potential here. It's a new day. It's a new dawn. It's a new... I'm hearing Michael Bublé. It's a new... Oh, God, Pisces. See, now you have the 10 of Cups. You know, the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Coins is my feeling about, like, those are my two cards. When they come out in a reading, it's like major relationship coming. You have the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords and the 10 of Cups. This is a divine pair. And, you know, the 10 of Cups is emotional contentment with another person. This is pretty, I'm just going to go ahead and clarify this. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. You know, there is an energy of rebirth in both of these, this Queen and this King. There is almost, you know, I kind of want to call it a mirrored energy. I mean, there's a coffin here and a coffin here, and there's a horn here and a cup here and a key here and a heart here. You know, there's a lot of, it may not be the exact same thing, but it is, there's an uncanny similarity here, right? And so, you know, with the Queen of Swords, this is always also, the Queen of Swords has been through the entire sword cycle. And I know I say this all the time. You guys are probably sick of hearing about it. But, you know, she's been heartbroken. She's been backstabbed. She's been defeated. She's been deceived. She has been everything, right? By her own mind, by external factors, by you name it, it's happened. She's had to face it. That's how she got to the Queen of Swords. All of those experiences in life can make you bitter, or they can make you better. And the thing is, it's your choice, right? And with this Queen of Swords and the Judgment, there is this opportunity to rise above those experiences, to answer the call, to you know, go into the arena again, right? For whatever this is, you know? Maybe you've built a business and lost it all. Maybe you've had to claw your way up some kind of ladder and then, you know, not had the security that you thought you had. Or, you know what I mean? Like, something happened here. And it's like, okay, we can either give up, we can call it a day, pack it in, say, okay, I'm done. I'm not going to do any more. Like, that was too grueling a task. That was too hard of a thing. You know, maybe you've been heartbroken, maybe you've been deceived, maybe it's taken everything you have to rise above it, to heal, to come to a place where it's no longer the death sentence that it once was, this inescapable, heartbreaking feeling, this inescapable, heartbreaking thinking, this inescapable, like, feeling of dread and gloom and doom, you know? You've come above it, and so it's like, you know, you may not want to go back into the arena. You may not want to put it all on the line again. But again, guys, just with the Queen of Swords here, right? And she's got that key of wisdom, right? The key that's a spiritual key. We see those two keys, those skeleton keys crossed on the Hierophant, the feet of the Hierophant and the Hierophant card. And here on the Judgment, you've got that key here. It's like, even though it may have taken me to my knees, even though it may have been the most disruptive tower I've ever experienced in my life, I still gained something from it. I still learned something from it. And here is my opportunity to experience something different, to say, okay, you know what? With the wisdom that I have, with that key, with that knowledge that I gained from that experience where it all came crumbling down, I have the opportunity to build back better, you know? Bhakti. Bobby. Oh my God. He is beside himself. And with the King of Swords energy, they're getting the 10 of Swords and the Crown of Cups. They've been through a very difficult situation that's been very draining and very painful. Some kind of ending where it was very draining and it felt like it just stabbed them in the back 100 times, you know? Where it was like they may not have been sure that they were ever going to recover or ever going to get up. But what did they get in that process? What did they gain in that process? Emotional mastery. And so no matter what, you know, it's kind of like moving forward, whatever relationship that I choose or that I open up to, I now have the ability to not react emotionally and to not take things personally and not to take the energy all the way in to where it's like it has the opportunity to defeat me. You know, with the Queen and the King of Swords, this is almost like coming at love from a practical standpoint of, okay, you know what, I'm coming at this, I'm interested, I want to get to know you, I want to know what this is all about, I want to logically and analytically see if we are a good match or a good fit for each other. This can be with business, this can be in love, like I said, and without getting my feelings involved. And I know that this is the approach that I want to take based on my past experiences. And maybe it's like in the past I've led with feelings, or I've let myself feel a whole bunch of things, or I let the cart get before the horse in relationships or in business or whatever. My passion, my drive, I let it really get so gung-ho and so passionate that I just sort of got all jumbled up and tripped over myself and made a mess. You know what I mean? Or I got so invested and so involved in it because I wanted it so badly, or because I allowed my feelings to grow so deep for someone that it ended up being my undoing in the end. I may have stayed a little too long. I may have trusted a little too much. I may have made a few too many excuses. I may have, you know, had a much more brutal and long-lasting ending than I really needed to experience. If I would have just accepted the first ending when the first ending happened, and not maybe allowed myself to get hoovered back in or sucked back in, or if I would have just not listened to the excuses that I was making up in my head and that they were giving me, you know, maybe it would have been less difficult. Maybe if I would have left that job when I started seeing the writing on the wall, instead of waiting until it wasn't my choice anymore, I could have been in a better position. Whatever the case may be, there were lessons learned here that we're taking on to the new experience that are making us a much better judge, and they are measuring our approach. You know, they are preventing us from getting the cart before the horse. They are preventing us from diving all in emotionally in a situation that we're not totally sure if we can trust or not. It isn't about going in on a wing and a prayer, right? It's about going in knowing that this is a solid and stable human being, or this is a solid and stable opportunity, and that we're like-minded, and that we do see the same version of success, and that, yes, you know what, we have had enough experience with each other that I do know that you are showing up, that you are in alignment with what you're telling me. Your actions are in alignment with your words, right? And with the Champion of Swords, there is this energy of it's like I kind of want to say like outrunning fear, or it's like almost keeping my head clean, almost like I'm moving in this direction, and as long as I'm doing it like in this logical and analytical way, as long as I'm sort of letting it unfold, it kind of, I don't want to say like at an arm's length distance, but it sort of is like that. Like I'm not getting too attached to it. I'm not just like letting myself fall head over heels in love. I'm not getting swept up in an attraction or in a desire or in, you know, the sense of you have something I need and that I want kind of energy, and therefore I'm going to sort of project onto this situation what I want, and therefore kind of not see what it actually is, or not see the truth of it. It's kind of like I'm going to put the truth first, and as long as I'm going to stick with this method of moving forward as long as it works. And it may become impractical at a certain point, because like if this is an energy of like an intimate relationship or an emotional relationship, it can be where like, you know, the swords are a good approach in the beginning, to where it's like we're setting up a foundation, but feelings and emotions are not logical or analytical ever. And so we don't want to avoid having feelings for another person, right? When maybe that's what is really needed to drive the thing home, or, you know, if you're starting a business or if you're joining a company or something like that, it's like, yeah, you want to be logical and analytical. You want to stay very like aware and taking everything in, right? But then it's like you do kind of ideally want to be passionate about what you're doing, about what you're pursuing, about what you're creating, about what you're doing with your life, right? And so it's like this may need to change or this may need to switch, but for now, with the Champion of Swords, it's like this is how we're moving forward. This is how we're making progress. This is how we're sort of keeping fear at bay in order to move through that space to get to the other side, which is where we really want to be. You know what I mean? This is how we're traversing fear, right? It's kind of a means to an end. Wow. Rather than, you know, like a permanent solution sort of energy. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Jeez, yeah. I mean, look at this. You've got this energy of the Sun card, the Page of Coins, the King of Coins, and the Knight of Cups. And then you have the Three of Coins at the bottom of the deck, okay? So the Sun card is here again, right? And so this is like we're seeing things clearly. We find a lot of tremendous amount of happiness, a tremendous amount of joy. And it's like, it's almost as if, you know, I've satisfied my mental body that this is okay, that this is healing, that this is happiness, that this is good. And that, you know, this is something that I'm ready for. This is something that I'm grateful for. This is something that I'm happy about. And we have the Page of Coins, the King of Coins, and the Knight of Cups, which, you know, the Page of Coins is like, I'm showing up seriously. I mean business. I keep showing up. I keep, there's a consistency here with the Page of Coins. And with the King of Coins, it's like, there is a tremendous amount of graduation or elevation or evolution or something like that kind of word from the Page of Coins to the King of Coins, where it's like I was putting my best foot forward. I was solid. I was showing up. I was, you know, genuinely offering something, and it was coming from a space of spiritual lessons that I learned through maybe not getting what I wanted or going through some really difficult, desolate, hardship times, right, of suffering and difficulty. And showing up like this day after day after day after day, you know, and figuring out that you can, and the abundance that sort of comes from that energy of like, you know, this isn't like knock your socks off, blow your mind kind of love. This is like, you know, day in and day out, I'm just doing my best. I'm just showing up. I've gone through a process that makes sense to me, that feels safe to me. I kept fear at bay to really get to know you, to really understand if your actions are in alignment with your words, to see if we really are a match, to see if there's really true happiness that can be had here. We went through, I'm getting like the valley of the shadow of death or something like that. Like I faced my fears with you by my side. We have somehow made it to the other side. We have showed up day after day. And this has led to this King of Coins energy where it's like, okay, now I'm kind of committed. Now I'm feeling solid. I'm feeling stable. I may even be seeing something in myself that I've never experienced in a relationship where it's like, wow, I didn't even know I was really this person, because I've never really had the opportunity to get to this point or to get to this place, right? And with the Knight of Cups, it changes how we're moving. That's why I kept feeling like this Knight of Swords was a temporary energy. It was a means to an end. It was like, this is how we're getting through fear. As a Libra, the Knight of Swords really means to me that energy that I get into when it's like I really want something, and if I think about it too long, or it's not even like I want something. It's like, you know, I may be curious about something and I may, you know, want to get educated in it, or I may, you know, it's like whatever. It feels scary. It feels like something that if I think about it too long, or if I let my mental body get too active around whatever it is, it will stop me from doing it because the fear will creep in. The Knight of Swords gives me an energy where it's like I can move through that very quickly before fear can catch me. And then it's like I'm sort of delivered to the other side going, oh, wow, you know, thank God I made it. Like I just went so all into it that like it is sort of like ADHD in a way of like, you know, I just got so hyper focused on it, and I just couldn't, there was no space for fear. There was no space for anything else. And I just went at it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until I got there. Kind of energy. And it's like, maybe that's what you have to do to get to the other side of that fear, or that like, you know, that feeling of like anxiousness, or that feeling of like, here we go again. I'm going to try this love thing, or I'm going to try this business thing, or I'm going to try whatever this is, this partnership thing. And, you know, I hope I can trust. I hope I don't look like the idiot. You know, I have to take a leap of faith. And, you know, it's either going to make me look like a fool or make me look like the smartest person on earth. And the way this is turning out with the King of Coins here, it's making you look like the smartest thing on earth, right? And now we can move into a more familiar, more comfortable way of moving that is more loving, that is more heart-centered, right? If it's about a job, it's like I can really bring my passion, I can really bring my true authenticity to it. I can believe in it now, and I can really carry it from this place of you know, paperwork and contracts and this and that and all that, to this space of like, where can we go? It's a wide open future. Like, let me face the limitlessness that's in front of me, because this is so connected to who I am and what I'm about authentically. With the Three of Coins, there is this energy of sharing a vision, sharing a plan, and really a lot of cooperation to build something. So you got somebody on the same page as you, or the situation is on the same page as you. Wow. The sun is being clarified by the Eight of Cups, and this energy of the Page of Coins, the King of Coins, and the Knight of Cups is being clarified by the Moon card. And, you know, this is just really beautiful energy, you know. In order to open up, to let this happiness in, it's like it's brought us all the way back to the beginning of your reading. In order to let this happiness in, we have to walk away from the things that are no longer serving us, the things that are taking up space in our life. We have to let them go. And if you look at the symbolism in both of these cards, you know, over the sun is actually this eye with a moon in it. I'm not sure if you can really see that. And in the Eight of Cups, you have in the center of that this crescent moon surrounded by a circle and these rays. I mean, it's very similar to this card. There's kind of this, even when I didn't see the whole thing in front of me, even when where I was going wasn't necessarily clear, it was always there, and I just had to make space for it. I just had to open up to the flow of what was there, and to release the things that were no longer serving me, to make space to let this happiness in. Over here, it's like I had to face my fear in order to get to this space where I actually even may have discovered what I am capable of. You know, if this is about business, it's like until where I was successful, where I was in charge, where I, you know, my own stability, my own strength, my own wisdom, my own, like all of the assets that I was bringing to the table were fully valued, and I could actually discover what it was like to either work within a system, or to create a system, or to, you know, to where my strengths were appreciated, or were, you know, generated wealth, or generated abundance, right? I never had this opportunity before, but this was me coming into alignment, facing my fear, getting through it, having every experience I had until now informed me what I needed to know in order to be successful at this time, in order to play to my strengths, in order to make sure I got to the place where my strengths would be kind of the foundation, with the Four of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, where I'd be able to experience, okay, now it's just fun. Now I get to just move from a space of my authenticity without needing to defend myself, without needing to protect myself, without, you know, just moving from a place of my strengths, and from this feels really fucking good. And whether this is love, whether this is business, it feels abundant. It feels like it has a lot of potential to be very solid and very stable, and to really capitalize on the unique skills and stability that you're bringing to the table, Pisces. I also feel like you may have someone very strong and very stable and very capable showing up for you that lets you shine, that lets you experience what it feels to be safe in a relationship, whether that's business or love. I don't know why I keep saying that, but I do. And for some of you, I am just totally getting this feeling of like it's a radiance that is shining throughout your entire life, especially with this moon sun job over here. And also you keep having the moon and the sun in your reading, and that's divine masculine and divine feminine. And once you have that energy balanced like within you and in the world, that's bliss energy, you know? So anyway, this is what I have for you guys. Let me get you some messages. I'm reorganizing, I'm doing some stuff. So I know it's a little wonky right now, but we're getting there. We're getting to a new place. We're letting go of some things and embracing some new things. All right, if you're dealing with a water sign, it's easier to stay away now than lose you later. Thank you for your beautiful presence in my life. How I wish I could hold you tonight, and I always hope to have you in my life. Okay. If you're dealing with a fire sign, I was not looking for something like this. I want to give you the world. I didn't fall in love with you because I have always loved you and always will. I want to create with you, and I love you. I hate you. I can't live without you. All right. If you are dealing with an air sign, hang on, you had one fly. I'm sorry, an earth sign. It was the flying thing that threw me off. If you're dealing with an earth sign, the kindness in your heart is so beautiful. You are my secret passion. The taste of your presence is something I will never be able to forget. And if you are dealing with an air sign, I love your sense of humor. Our love can power galaxies. I am drawn to your deep intelligence and wisdom. I want more with you one day. Guys, this is what I have for you. I hope it helps. I hope it brings you some peace and clarity. If it does, let me know. Like, share, subscribe, comment. Man. Oh, and you guys, if you could keep Debbie from Canada in your prayers. She's still in the ICU, but she's a little fighter, and I'm so darn proud of her. Debbie, if you're out there and you're listening to this reading, I'm sending you so much love. So many prayers, and yeah, if you guys could just for continued healing and continued strength and just whatever you feel guided in your heart to pray for her, please just keep her there. And yeah, until next time, guys, be safe, be well. I love you. Until next time. Bye-bye, guys.